Hi guys, day 8 of ELA. We've almost approached 2 full weeks of school, and you're doing all your lessons online like this through YouTube. So today we're going to finish up, I believe, the last part of. No, we're going to do another one later on as well. But today we're going to do a little bit more of the changing landscape of California. This one's in your activity book. I'll be reading this. It's on page 47 of your activity book. Yes, we read the exact same thing yesterday or whenever you did day 7. This is going to give us the answer to the question of describe what life was like for Native Americans living in what is now known as California before European settlers arrived in the area. So remember when the Europeans arrived and the Spanish explorers arrived and settlers, the Spanish pretty much said, you guys are going to start living in these missions, which were like little villages and so on that the Spanish would force on their religion, their beliefs, their clothing, their lifestyle. And it seemed like it was a pretty calm place to be. However, during these times, the Spanish used to bring an army with them as well. So if the natives did not move to these missions, they were often killed and massacred. And then later on, we started getting more explorers coming in, the gold rush, the miners, and they didn't even give the natives the opportunity to live with them. They pretty much said, we're going to push you off this land. We're going to make you um, your own little area. It's not going to be the best land because the best land is going to come to us. We're going to take your land that you have. We're going to put you on places that we're going to refer to as reservations. It's reserved for the natives at this time. And pretty much if you don't give up your property, we're going to kill you anyways. So you don't really have much of a choice. It's life or death. So we're going to read, which we did yesterday, how it was before those settlers and those Europeans and the Spanish and the explorers and so on and so forth showed up. So it's going to be a little bit more positive about the type of lifestyle that these natives lived, rather than what it turned into once these explorers and settlers showed up. So if you go to your activity book, page 47, I have these things highlighted. You won't have them. These are going to kind of give us our answers. And we're going to read those first few pages up to page 50. It'll end there, and then we're going to write our answer, which is describe life. You don't even need your reader. You're just going to use your activity book. Okay? So I'll begin. It is impossible, to know exact numbers, but the best estimates are that there are around 300,000 Native Americans in California when the first Spanish settlers arrived. So this is what I'll do to make this a little bit easier. I'm going to actually start writing the answer to that paragraph as I'm reading. So at this point, I'm going to start with before the European settlers arrived, there were over 300,000 or around 300,000 natives in California. So, okay. Yes, I see that there's a lot. But with breaks, asking your parents to help you, pausing the video and coming back, you'll be able to get this. Okay? So, Before the settlers arrived, there were about 300,000 natives in California. There were well over 100 tribes and a wide variety of cultures, languages, and customs. Mostly they lived in small villages ranging from 100 to 1,000 people. There were no formal borders or property lines, but each tribe was adapted to life in a specific area. All the California tribes lived a hunter-gatherer lifestyle. So, all the tribes were hunter-gatherers. Does anyone remember what a hunter-gatherer was? Take it, break it up. Hunters, what do hunters do? What do they hunt for? Animals. Gatherers, how do we get our fruits, acorns, nuts, and so on and so forth? We gather them, right? Or pick them. So this is the type of life that they lived. They were hunter-gatherers. Okay? I'm not going to go into the hunting part. Kind of fits the meat. That's when we used to do our hunting part, and the gathering hits the acorns and so on. Okay? I'll continue reading. Acorns were a major source of food throughout the region. Acorns are the nuts from the oak tree. You would not want to eat an acorn raw because the taste is very bitter. But if you grind it up into flour and soak it, you can remove most of the bitterness and use it to make a tasty bread. Fish were another major food source for many tribes. The tribes caught fish from the ocean, the rivers, and the lakes. Besides acorn and fish, each region had various animals and plants for people to hunt and gather, such as rabbits and deer, plus various roots, berries, and other gifts from nature. Let's see. Trade was also an important part of tribal life in California. If they could not find what they needed, the people could trade with a neighboring tribe. We'll just write trading was important. Okay? I'm going to try making one more sentence in this out of our reading. So instead of having us, which I probably have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or so more sentences we could add to it. But I know that sometimes writing can get a little difficult for us. So we'll just discuss things. I'm going to add one more thing, and that'll be the last part that I read about. And then the rest we'll just discuss. Okay? So I'm going to go right over to page 35 now on this one, but it's 49 year activity book. Let's see, 49. Okay? It's going to be with the clay pots. In the Central Valley, In the Central Valley, the people made their canoes by weaving long, tough reeds or river grass. They did not need to paddle into the rough ocean. Instead, they had wide, lazy rivers and sparkling lakes. And all the way up north, where the great redwood trees grow up into the clouds, people made dugout canoes from the hollowed-out logs. Dugout canoes were tough enough for the ocean, but also nimble enough to survive the wild mountain rivers. Daily life focused on securing enough food for everyone. Fortunately, California was a land of plenty, so if everyone worked hard, there was usually enough food to go around. In good years, there was more than enough food, so the people had time for other things. Basket weaving was common throughout California. Tribes of the Central Valley were highly skilled, producing a variety of colorful baskets in all shapes and sizes. So they used to make a lot of baskets, right? And they could use those for trading as well. There was also time for fun and games. In Northern California, children enjoyed a game similar to soccer. We discussed that. I don't have to read that much more. The boys could do what? Just kick. The girls could pick up the ball, carry it, run with the ball. But the one advantage that the boys had as well, besides just kicking, is what could they do with the girls? They could pick up the girls as they're holding on the ball and run them right into the goal. Okay? I'm going to start at the bottom of this one right here. This one will get our last part of how it was before. Okay? And then we'll be done with our paragraph. Religious beliefs reflected a close connection to the cycles of nature and to animals. While all the tribes had unique beliefs, myths, and rituals, the people generally believed they shared a special kinship or bond with other living things. They felt fortunate and thankful to live in a place with so many resources. So were these natives religious? I mean, they're pretty religious? Yeah, right? So, they had unique beliefs, sorry, and rituals. Okay? So that's what you'll write on our big paragraph. The big paragraph is on page 51. Okay? So you can write this up. This isn't a long one, remember. So usually these ones can be 25, 30 minutes on some of our ELA lessons. But this one, we've been reading a lot about this part of the reader. So I thought that I'd kind of summarize it as best I could. There's only what? 1, 2, 3, 4 sentences. So there's not a real lot for you guys to write. Normally, they'd have us write a lot on this page, but you guys understand the gist of it. Was it better before the settlers arrived for the natives? Yes. Once the settlers arrived, was it a good time for most of the natives? No. All right, guys. You guys can pause this, remember, if you need to continue to write. But if not, I'm going to start getting ready for the next day's worth of work, whether that's math or read aloud. All right? And from now on, I'm going to start scheduling our YouTube videos. Okay? So that means they'll be released at midnight the day that they would normally be. You could begin them. That way no one jumps ahead. But most of you should be receiving your work this week, which today is March 24th when I'm doing this. So you guys should get it sometime this week. You may not watch this till next week, so it wouldn't really make sense to say this week. But as of March 24th, you guys should be getting ready to receive most of your materials. All right, stay safe, guys. Bye.